Okay, so we can just about see through this. So I'm going to go for medium deep. Medium intensity, sorry, not deep, medium intensity. And I'm going to go for ruby, but perhaps a trace of garnet. Notice it has slightly dusty appearance around the edge, so I'm going to go, and it's slightly browning, slightly going orange, so I'm going to go for ruby or garnet. You can only write one down, but I would give you the mark if you selected ruby. I would give you the mark if you selected garnet. But it's definitely medium intensity. On the nose. Okay, on the nose we have got medium plus intensity. Cherries would go into our primary category. Trace of vanilla for our secondary category. You could also add in clove, cinnamon, nutmeg there as well. Tertiary characteristics, yes, we've definitely got some of those. Prune, fig, raisin would all add to the tertiary characteristic. It's very ripe, isn't it? You could add jammy in there as well, I think. And I would say developing. Definitely some tertiary characteristics forming in this particular wine. On the palate, I would describe this wine as dry, medium level of acidity, medium level of tannins, possibly medium plus. I'd give you the mark if you went either way. Alcohol, however, is high. We're talking 14.5% here, so that falls into the high category, which takes us into full-bodied. This wine is most definitely full-bodied. Hopefully you can feel that weight on your palate. Flavour intensity, medium plus. The flavour characteristics, very similar to those that we found on the nose. Cherry, red cherry. Remember to be specific with your fruit colours, because red cherry is different to black cherry. Red plum is different to black plum. You could also have red plum as well if you wanted to. I think that would work. You've got the vanilla, the cinnamon, the nutmeg as well would be, and clove would also work. And then you've got the dried fruit notes as well, the raisin, the prune, the fig as well on the palate. Perhaps a little leather, perhaps a little wet leaves as well from the tertiary characteristics. In terms of the finish, I would go medium plus, and all of that puts us into the very good category. It was medium plus in length, it was medium plus in intensity, it was fairly complex, but because of the drop down on the length and the intensity, we're going to go for very good quality. It was overall balanced, although I think that alcohol, the tendency towards the cooked jammy fruits, perhaps unbalanced it ever so slightly, and it could have done with a little bit more acid or a little bit more weight from the fruit to help balance it. So again, that contributes to being very good rather than outstanding. In terms of its readiness for drinking, I would say can drink now, but has potential for aging. It has enough concentration, has just enough acidity. It has good tannins, strong tannins to give it structure to improve for a little bit of time. I'm going to just give you a quick recap on readiness for drinking. So you need tannin, you need acidity, you need concentration of fruit to help keep a wine, to help benefit a wine if you're going to cellar it. One of the things that's really important to think about when you're aging wine is to think whether it will actually benefit from being aged, or is this the wine that will benefit for being drunk now. Some wines, something like a Sauvignon Blanc or an Albarino, for example, from Rías Baixas, do not benefit from developing tertiary characteristics. You want them when they're young, fresh, citrusy, vibrant, aromatic. You don't really want them as they get older. So I would, you don't really want them to develop tertiary characteristics. So I would be going with that. I would be categorising them as drink now, not suitable for aging. Some wines, however, it would be really interesting to see how they developed, what tertiary characteristics, what complexity they could develop given some time. So I would say that some wines, therefore, would be can drink now, has potential for aging.